Hello everyone. So today we are going to discuss question number C of the Codeforces round 167. Two movies. So there is a movie company which has released two movies, and the two movies were rated by n people. And for every people, we know their attitude towards the movie, whether they have liked it, whether they are being neutral about the movie, or whether they have disliked it. And it is given that if a person liked the movie, the rating of the movie will increase by 1. If the person dislikes the movie, the rating of the movie will decrease by 1. And if they have a neutral review, the rating will not change. So every person reviews exactly one movie. It says that every person reviews exactly one movie, and for every person you can choose which movie they will review. For every person you can choose which movie they will review. And we say that the company's rating is the minimum of the rating of the two movies. So suppose we have got for movie 1 the rating is 4, for another movie the rating is 5, the company's rating will be the minimum of these two values, which is 4. This will be the company's rating. Okay, so our task is to calculate the maximum possible rating of the company. It means out of the two movies, the one that will be lesser, that will be having lesser review, we have to maximize that, because the minimum of the two movies is going to be the company's rating. So we have to maximize the rating of the company. So this is the input. The first line is the test cases, the number of test cases. The second line contains an integer n, which is the number of people that we are going to ask for the review. And the second line contains n integers, like a1, a2 up until an, which shows the attitude of people towards the first movie. So the n people review the first movie. So it could be -1 if they have disliked the movie, it could be 0 if the attitude is neutral, and it could be 1 if they have liked the movie. Similarly, for movies B or second movie, same case, -1, 0, or 1. So this is an additional constraint on the input. The sum of n over all the test cases does not exceed 2 power 5. This is an additional constraint on the input, that the sum of n over all test cases does not exceed 2 times 10 power 5. Now, what is our task? Our task is to print only one integer, which is the maximum possible rating of the company. Okay, and what we can do is we can choose for each person that which movie that person will review. So let's take this example over here. So as we see, there were four people, and all those four people gave review about both the movie, about movie A and about movie B. So this guy gave negative review to both the movies. This guy over here, he liked movie B but he disliked movie A. This guy over here, he disliked movie A but he liked movie B again. And this guy over here, he liked both the movies. So for every guy we only have to take one review. So for example, this is the rating of the movie A. Initially it's 0. This is the rating of the movie B. It is also initially 0. So for the first guy, which review of his should we take? Yeah, because both of them are -1. So let's take it for A. If I take his rating for movie A, the rating of movie A will decrease by 1. Okay. Now let's come up to second guy. Now for the second guy, which review should I take? Well, I don't know. So I'm just taking some random values. Let's say I take the rating of movie B. So it will increment by 1 because he gave a positive review for movie B. Now when I come to the third guy over here, okay, let's say I take the rating of movie A. So I'll have to add another -1 to movie A's rating. Okay. Now coming to the fourth guy, he rated both the movies as +1. So let's take it for A. Let's take it for A. Okay. So the final rating of the movie A will become -1, and the final rating of movie B will become +1. Yeah. And the rating of the company is given by minimum of A and B. So the rating of the company will become -1. The question is, can it be better than -1? Can the rating of the company be better than -1? So obviously the answer is +1. The expected output is +1, right? So now let's see which way is the optimal way to take the reviews. Now before jumping on to the solution directly, let's discuss this. Should we ever take the lesser rating. So, for example, this second person, he has rated the two movies differently. The first movie he rated -1, and the second movie he rated +1. So these movies are rated differently. Now, should we ever take the lesser rating? I will argue that we should always be taking the higher rating. Why? Because let's see, if we have taken this rating instead of +1 for the second movie, if we have taken this rating, let's say after doing all the calculations, the value of the rating of the first movie is X and the value of the rating of the second movie is Y. Yeah. So our answer is either going to be X or Y because we have to take the minimum of the two. So let's say if X is lesser than Y, then our answer is going to be X. Yeah. But we have to find an answer which is the maximum possible. Is X the maximum answer possible? The answer is no, because if we would not have added this -1 to A, if we would not have added this -1 to A, the final answer would not have been X. It will be X plus 1. Yeah, because this -1 is actually subtractive in nature. So we could have got X plus 1 as the final answer, not X. So there is a possibility of a higher value. That's why taking -1 is not a good idea. Now let's say if the final answer would not have been X, if it was Y, it means it was the rating of the second movie. Again, in this case, we are leaving the opportunity to add a +1 to B. Yeah, we are leaving this opportunity of adding a +1 to B. So the final answer would have been Y plus 1. Yeah. Again, it will still be more than the answer that we have got by taking this. So that's why we should never be taking the lesser rating. We should always be taking the higher rating. Therefore, we will approach this problem greedily. So let's maintain two variables A and B. A represents the rating of the first movie and B will represent the rating of the second movie. So over here, both the ratings are same. Let's leave this case for now when the ratings are same. When the ratings are different over here, which rating we are supposed to take? We are supposed to take the higher rating. So we'll add this rating to B. So the rating of the second movie increases by 1. Now, when we come to the third element, over here again, which rating are we supposed to take? We are supposed to take the higher rating and ignore the lesser rating. So we are going to add this one to B again. Now, when we come to the last element, again the ratings are same. So if rating of B is now 2 and rating of A is 0, let's think about the last element. Whose rating should we increment? Because both are 1, right? Now, as of now, let's consider what is going to be our answer. Our answer is going to be the minimum of these two values. The rating of A is 0 now, the rating of B is 2. So the answer is going to be 0, right? So where should we add this ones? Because we have to maximize our final answer. We have to maximize the minimum of the two. So obviously we should increment the value of A. So we should add this one to A. Okay. So we are done with this, this and this. So we are left with this case where both the values are -1. Now again, where should we add this -1 value to? Here the rating is 1. Here the rating is 2, and our final answer is going to be the minimum of 2, which is going to be 1, right? Now if we add this -1 over here, right, it will become 0. Our final answer is going to be 0. Yeah. If we add this -1, if we add this -1, this rating is going to become 1 and this rating is also going to be 1, and our final answer is going to be the minimum of the two, which is 1. Obviously we have to maximize our answer, so we will add this value to B only. So that's why we are going to add this -1 to B. So our final answer is going to be the minimum of the two ratings, which is 1. So in case of equal ratings, we basically have to distribute the rating so that both the ratings remain close to each other. So now let's discuss the C++ code of it. So first of all, we will declare the size of the array and we will take in input the two arrays. These arrays represent the ratings given by people to the first movie and to the second movie. Now we will declare these four variables. When a person gives a negative review to both the movies, we will increment the count of this. When a person gives a positive review to both the movies, we will increment the count of both positive. If a person gives a higher rating to the first movie, then we will increment the count of A. If a person gives a higher rating to the second movie, we will increment the count of this. Okay. So that's what we have done here. If both the ratings are negative, we will just increment the count of both negative. If both the ratings are positive, then we will increment the count of both positive. If the rating of the first movie is higher, okay, it means the rating of the second movie will be less than or equal to 0, then we will increment the count of A. If the rating of the second movie is higher and the rating of the first movie is less than or equal to 0, then we will increment the count of the B. So up until now, we have distributed the rating to A and B whenever they were different, right? We have incremented the count of A and B whenever the ratings were different, whenever one of them was higher. But what if both were equal? In the case of both positive and both negative, so we will need to distribute that accordingly so that the value of A and B remain close to each other, because we have to maximize the minimum value of A and B. So we distribute both negative and both positive in these two loops. Yeah. So we have some count of both negative. While that count remains, if A is greater than B, then we will subtract that. We will subtract the value from A. Otherwise, we will subtract the value from B, isn't it? And when the count of both negative ends, then we start with the count of both positive. While the count of both positive is there, if A is lesser, then we will increment the value of A. Otherwise, we will increment the value of B. And after that, we are sure that the value of A and B are as close to each other as possible. It means the minimum value is maximized. So we will just simply print out the minimum of the two values, and this will give our answer. Thank you.